Okay, so today we're going to talk about buying a house in Washington, D.C. Okay, so, I've always wanted to buy a house, right? I always wanted to own property, have my own land and stuff like that. And I wanted to do my first house in Washington, D.C. I'm Washington native. Get comfortable. So, I made a decision about a year ago. I was gonna start getting my credit and stuff together so I could be in the perfect position to buy a house. So, fast forward, took care of everything. Thought I took care of everything. So I thought, and decided in March, early March, I think I had my meeting March 10th. I was pre-approved for my house. I was like, okay, perfect. I can start shopping. And my lender was like, what do we want to purchase at? I was like, I'm Washington, D.C. So we met, we went over some things. She told me about a program that I knew about, but I guess I just didn't know the steps or the process to this program. So she told me about the program. She told me how to get in contact with them. I reached out to them on maybe, I think that Thursday, like the 12th, I think it was. And they told me the next meeting or available meeting would be that following Friday. So the 20th. Look at my notes. The 20th will be the meeting. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I get off early on Friday, so that's not a problem. What time is the meeting? 5 o'clock. I get off at 4. When my kids leave to go home, around about, my kids left at like 2. So I could leave early enough to get to the other side. If you from Washington, D.C., you've been to Washington, D.C., you understand how difficult it is to get from Northwest to Southeast. The meeting was in Southeast. So getting over to Southeast it could be a bit of a hassle. So I was like, okay, I can just leave early, not a problem. Was at work on a Thursday. Got an email from my job saying the school was closed on Friday for COVID cleaning. Okay, cool. On Sunday the 15th, school was no longer going to be open. Okay. All right, now we're getting into some things. I'm still thinking, okay, the schools are closed, but everything is fine. On March 16th, 2020, the Mayor Bowser, I think that's her name, shut down Washington, D.C. So, my meeting that was on the 20th, yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. It's not gonna happen. Okay. So I immediately get on the phone with the people. I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? What's the steps? How we moving forward? They're like, well, we're gonna look into doing some virtual classes. Excuse me. We're gonna look into doing some virtual classes, but we'll let you all know. Just keep checking back. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I called on the actual 20th, nothing. So then, I need my calendar, so hold on. So then, all of March passed, I'm calling every 3 days, like, what's going on with the class, what's going on with the class, what's going on with the class, nothing. I am now just sitting here, upset. I hadn't started packing everything like that. So I'm calling all of March, all of April, nothing. my mom reached out to someone that she had known that works there, that she knows that works at this location or this program. I'm not gonna say their names, at the program. And she said, oh yeah, we have a class today actually. So now it's May 14th. Was the 14th or the 15th? One of those days. So, but the meeting is, we have one at 10 and then we have one at, I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock. So I teach, so I couldn't do the morning hour meeting. So I have an evening meeting. I'm like, okay, boom, got the meeting out the way. Now let's start our consultations. They don't schedule my consultation until maybe June, like 10th, I think it was. So almost another month of just waiting to meet with someone about an application. I will never understand why it takes so long in DC to do things. It takes DC so long to do things. It's mind-baffling. Like, it blows my mind. It baffles me because I'm like, what y'all doing? Government employees, what y'all doing? So I meet with them. She runs my stuff and lets me know that I have something on my credit that was in collections that I did not see. I didn't see it, the lender didn't see it. I have like the credit sesame thing where it shows you your credit. My credit score was not bad. I actually have a wonderful credit score, might I say. I was really proud of myself. Credit score wasn't bad, but I had some in collections that was over a certain amount, and I couldn't have that for this program. So another delay. She's like, you gotta take care of that, and if you take care of that, then we can schedule for an appointment. Cool. She was okay. So I'll check back in with you. Your next follow-up appointment will be August 30th or August 29th, something like that. Since August, what? August? I said, well, if I take care of it today or tomorrow, can I meet with you sometime next week? She was like, oh, sure, but I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. She must have known the type of God that I had, because my God is an on-time God, period. So I call the company because I'm familiar with the bill. Find out that it is in collections. Talk and finagle them down to a reasonable amount. Pay it off. Boom. Got the letter. Okay, she's like, okay, before we have a meeting, you need to get XYZ documents. So it's like 12 documents I gotta get. Now, mind you, the world not open. I'm a teacher, so employee verification, stuff I need for my job, all that stuff has to deal with other people to get that done. So, thankfully, I am typically a nice person to people. Try to be a really good person. So the people, my HR departments at my school that I'm at now and the school I was at before, which shut down. The school I was at before was bought out by another school, so that school no longer existed. So the HR person, they kept her from the school I was actually I was actually working at, and she was able to fill out my stuff for me. Filled it out, got it back to me within 24 hours. Perfect. So I meet with her. She does my application. The lady at the school I was at year before last, so 2000. What was that? 18, 19. She sees the company's name on the verification form, and she's like, "Let me tell you something." Put me on to game, right? So I'm like, okay, boom. She's like, they slow walk. They move their feet. They drag their feet. They have 0 time. I'm sorry, I just need calendar so I can see dates. They drag their feet pretty much. So they'll leave your application in their desk for 2-3 weeks and then submit it. And you sitting here waiting to hear back, and your application ain't get sent in when they told you it was being sent in. So I meet with her. She sends an application in. And I'm trying to like get her on the phone, lady from the HPAP program. I'm trying to get her on the phone and cannot get her on the phone. So then that's a wait, and that's a process. Finally get in touch with her 2 weeks later. She asked me to send her all my documentation. I sent her my documentation. She's like, okay. So she's like, oh, you good to go, Miss Sizer? All your documentation is good. Boom, perfect. Cool, application will be submitted. Okay, boom. Is it being submitted or was it submitted? That's what I asked. She's like, it was submitted. I said, okay, perfect. So I'm like, okay, so what's the next steps? So now we wait 2 to 3 months. Y'all see these boxes behind me? You could tell my head ain't in 2 to 3 months. Like, I've already started packing, sis. I'm ready to go now. Because what you don't understand is, it typically would not take an average person this long that was buying a house. But because I did DC's HPAP program, it took a little bit more time. If I was pre-approved, which I was pre-approved, I could initially start out looking for my house because I had my pre-approval letter. I looked for the house, find the house, put down a certain amount of money for the house. I think it's like, I think it's like 2% of that for the house. And then I do my, that will allow me to start the process. Once my contract was accepted, that will allow me to start the process of inspection, what do they do? Appraisals and different things like that. So that's another, that time could run you roughly 45 days. At max, 45 days. So that's another time frame in itself that's already carved out. So since I'm waiting 2 to 3 months for a letter back giving me an amount of money that they can't just write this mug up like they got you got all my tax forms. Look at how much I make. Look at how much you're willing to give me. Bada boom, bada bang, forget about it. We're done. So, mind you, the lady from my old job already hit me the game. So, I sent the email out to the company that my application actually goes to. Because remember, the lady program is a third-party program. So, I am now waiting to hear back from them. I sent the email to them asking them for help in the application process. I need to figure out why it takes 2 to 3 months. This has been can be a very stressful process. It can test you in a lot of areas. It has tested my faith. My determination, my endurance, and my discipline as well. But I pray. You see my face is breaking up, Jesus. I've stressed about it. I'm not gonna lie. And it's nowhere in the Bible where it says that things won't happen. We won't have these feelings, but it's what you do with the feelings that you have. So I do get angry. I do feel the level of stress creeping up, but I handle it accordingly and I get back to what it is I'm supposed to be doing. This is it's a process. And I understand that I've done everything in life has a process. But I've done a bulk of my things in life early on that requires strenuous process. So I understand the process and how it can have you on the emotional roller coaster. But you have to apply your faith, trust God, trust his word, trust his promise on your life, and you'll see it coming to pass. It never said it was going to be easy. He didn't never say it was going to be easy. Why do we think things is going to be easy? Like, I feel like we think that God is like a bippity boppity boop type God. Like, he just go boop, done, boop, done. Like, you gonna have to put some work in. Faith without works are dead. So I understand that, and I apply those things. I apply and trust the process. I apply the process, and I don't focus on the process, but I trust the promise. Let me not say I trust the process. Trust the promise of God, and knowing that the promise is a promise, and he's not a God that he should lie. I know that it's going to happen. I know that it's just a matter of time that things are going to happen. So I'm just patiently waiting. This will be a series of things that I give to you all. As I go through the process, I'll update you on the process and how things are going from now until I'm in my house, decorating my house, the things I've learned. I am a first-time home buyer. Also a I will be a first-generation homeowner in my family since my great-grandmother, which passed away, and one of her children sold her property. So, but I was also too young for her to support me and help me through this process and understand what this process is. So no one in my family has been able to walk me through this process. Even down to like my credit score. That's why I was so proud of myself for my credit score, because I knew to save my money, but I didn't quite understand how credit works and things of that sort. So doing as well as I did, learning, teaching myself as I go on how to do different things, I learn the process. I'm excited. But yeah, I pray and I trust God, and I will keep you all posted as we fight the good fight of faith to get me my house, okay? So, bye. Oh, wait. Subscribe if you like my content. Subscribe if you like my content.